Hi, my name's Chris Guy. I'm the head professional at the Sweno Golf Academy at the Sweno Golf Hotel in Belek, Turkey. I'm on the 16th hole on the Pines course, a long par 3 with two semi-tight pot bunkers on the left-hand side of the green. The green has got a big step in the middle, and it's running away from the bunker shot. It's more severe if the pin's on the top left, which it is today, sorry, top right. It's a lot more severe. The shot requires a bit of a puffy throw it up there and try and let it spin out on the way down. Now, the video that I'm playing up over there is a classic example of someone struggling out of the bunker. The main point of the bunker shot is that actually we want to hit the sand first, but we need to keep acceleration with the golf swing. A nice simple drill: take the longest club you have, which is obviously going to be your driver, and set outside of the bunker in a practice situation. Set yourself up with the driver and swing it freely as if you would hit the ball off the tee. You'll notice that there's no deacceleration just prior to hitting the golf ball. The main reason people can't get out of bunkers is because they swing and they stop, and the ball has got no energy whatsoever to carry the 5 to 6 to 7 meters that it needs to generate a little bit enough spin to hold the green. This is another simple drill that you can execute as well. Without the golf ball, I'm just going to draw a nice simple line. The golf ball itself is placed in front of the line. Again, in a practice situation, this line is set so it's middle. Middle being my sternum. So, ideally, we want to get the club behind the golf ball first. For example, for the case of the example, there's no ball, so it's a practice swing. So, club on top of the line. I'm going to place my feet in a nice wide shoulder width position, and they're going to be pointing out as if I was hitting an 8-iron, a long club, etc. so on. So, okay. I'm not going to do anything funky with the club just yet. I'm actually just going to keep it all very nice and standard and square. You'll see that my target line is perpendicular to the impact line. Now, the practice is very simple. Focus on the intention that you still had with the driver. Big wide swing all the way through, okay? The trick with a good bunker shot is to not hit the ball first. But of course we need to hit the sand first with acceleration. So keep that in mind. Keep the feeling of hitting the driver in the bunker. The example is such. Now I've hit that quite hard, quite firm. If I hit that in real time, that ball would probably be going 60, 70 yards. I need to puff this out of the bunker. So, keeping with the same understanding, I'm going to go down the grip. I'm going to keep the swing exactly the same, down the grip, and I'm scaled smaller around the golf ball. I can now swing with a bit of control, and if I continue to practice it, my confidence grows that I'm actually hitting the sand first. I'm not thinking about my technique. I'm allowing it to just flow. So many people think up, down and around. They start thinking about how this is happening and forget solely on just swinging. Now I've had 3-4 golf swings there, and you can see there's only one that's a little bit too far behind the line, but the others, the impact is directly on top of the line. So the example with the golf ball, again, I'm using a square blade going down the grip. The line is centered in my body. And from this position, I'm going to press my weight down. I'm going to lower my center of gravity. At the moment, I'm keeping it 50-50 as well. Decent shot out the bunker. I struck the line first, I continued forward, and I just let the inertia carry the ball through the air. It's on the green, and for most of you out there trying to improve your bunker shot, that's the first step, getting the ball out of the bunker. The rest, the technical stuff that you see the pros being able to do on television each week, that's a little bit different. I'm going to cover that in the next video. In part 2 of the bunker shot, once we've experienced the ideal swing and contact with the sand, Then you're allowed to start trying to understand the adjustments of the club. The club is quite important. There's two numbers on a club. There's the loft, which is 58, and then there's the 8, which is the bounce. This is the angle between the leading edges back and front and the bounce down at the bottom. What this does is it allows the club to bounce when it makes contact with the surface. The lower the number, the lower the bounce, it means that the club is less inclined to bounce. So it digs. Now, on firm fairways, that's fine. On soft fairways, it can cause a little bit of a hindrance. The same can be said for the sand. I can tell you now, pros love playing out of firm sand. It means that they can nip the ball off the surface and grab as much spin out of the club as they can. When it's a bit fluffy, that's when we have to start using the loft and using the bounce to clip the ball. It's a little bit more precise, if you like, but when you get it right, the effect that the ball will have on the green is fantastic. You can have the confidence to throw the club and the ball all the way up to the hole and hope and check the ball up. 8 out of 10 times the pros will get it right. This is how they do it. Take a clean ball, and the same thing, I'm just going to draw a gentle line in the sand. Again, we still need the same basics. We've got to hit the sand first. But what we're going to do this time is we're actually going to open the golf club. And the way we're going to open the golf club is I take a normal grip with the club face square. And instead of rolling my arms and my hands to open the blade, simply roll the club in your hands. Sounds very simple, but you'll be amazed at the amount of people that don't get that right. That there is how we do it, to hit it up. It's as simple as that. The biggest change is the setup. The direction the club is now aiming. The leading edge is now naturally pointing off to the right hand side. Remember, it's the leading edge that you want leading towards the pin. So if the pin, and in this case now this line is not going to be in my center, so bear with me, but if the pin was just over this slope in front of me and the pin was cut in that angle, this is how it would look. Now, like I said, the line isn't actually in the center. That is the new line that is now towards the center. I hope that's straight on camera. There you go. The blade is slightly to the right. There's my path. That's where the club is aiming. So the ball, which we know already is for the club, is responsible for hitting the ball in the direction it's facing. So 80% of the time the ball will always go in the direction that the club face is pointing. So the club face is now pointing to the right, so it's going to go to the right. So we adjust. Now, no serious change in my golf swing. Maybe a little bit of weight on my left hand side, just to set myself so that I can come down. Now, if you set a little bit of weight on the left, you swing steeper. If you keep it 50-50 and lower your center of gravity, you swing it shallow. The bounce, for me, as an 8-degree wedge, I need to swing it shallow. I don't want the club to dig. So you'll see a player with a lower bounce wedge with an open blade, he'll be swinging shallow. A player with a higher bounce wedge will be swinging steeper. It's a much of a muchness. It really, for the better players, it's how they feel it. They just go with the same swing each time, and they set up most times consistently exactly the same. The difference with the pros is that when they want to hit the longer running shot, they'll hit a little bit more sand as opposed to rolling the club over, accelerating the blade. They'll hit more sand and probably take a little bit of loft off the club itself. So here's my example. Club face open, shoulders square to the left, the pin's on the right. And you can see I've just gently clipped the back of the sand and popped the ball up nice and puffy. I've hit the sand first. I've followed through. The blade was open. It was all done from basic stationary positions. The movement was exactly the same as the video in part 1. In this video, I'm actually going to show you the results that some good bunker practice can put in. I'm standing on this green, and I have to say, there's a big slope all the way down off this left side. The flag is situated as well on the down slope. With the shot that I need to play, I'm going to have to play something that lands a quarter of the way onto the green, has a bit of check up, but not too much that it stops up on the green. Checks it up, and then just gently releases down to the hole. It's not an easy bunker shot. I've got about a 3-foot lip to get over first, and I'm landing it on the downslope. So in terms of difficulty, this is up there for a decent professional. For an amateur, this is an extremely difficult golf shot. If you use the same principles that you've learned in the first 2 videos by opening the club face and accelerating through the golf shot, as long as you make decent contact and don't hit the ball too much first, you're going to get something of a result that's going to land in the front half of the green and then just release. Remember, use the golf course. It's downhill. I don't have to be too clever. Stay tuned. There's a very good example of the different types of contact. The last one I got absolutely superb. I got it right at the back of the golf ball. We're still taking the sand, but the blade was flush and open. It checked and it actually spun back, which says a lot. I've hit that very well. I got a bit unlucky with the first one. I thought the first one would roll out. The second one, I used this slope a little bit higher up. I pitched it just in this position. It had enough spin to hold it so that it went down. This is the ball I would prefer. I want this putt going back up the hill. I don't want those two moving around 3 foot down the hill, left to right. I hope this helps. Stay in touch. Contact me for any help. I'm here to help you guys. See you again.